Hello Java aspirants, this is Gaurav, an expert Java trainer. As per high demand from many people, I am commencing the Java discussion from scratch. Let's keep introduction of OOPS, object-oriented programming topic on the table today for discussion. Let's start and we'll talk about the programming language approach. First is procedure-oriented approach. When the programmer wants to write a program, he will first divide the task into separate subtasks, each of which is expressed as a functions. It contains many functions, which are called and controlled by main function. This approach is called procedure-oriented approach. C programming language follow this approach. Another approach is object-oriented approach. Some programs uses classes and objects in their program are called object-oriented programming language. Classes contains data and methods to perform some task. In Java, functions are called methods. This approach is called object-oriented approach. Java, C++ languages uses this approach. So, what is object-oriented approach? Object-oriented programming approach is a programming methodology to design computer programs using classes and objects. Features of object-oriented programming system are classes, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. Now, we can discuss about classes and objects. An object is anything that really exists in the world and can be distinguished from others. For example, a table, a dog, a person, etc. Everything will come under objects. Then, what is not an object? If something does not really exist, then it is not an object. For example, our thoughts, imagination, plans, ideas, etc. are not objects because they do not physically exist. Every object has property and can perform certain actions. For example, Michael, he has property like name, age, sex, etc. These properties can be represented by variables in our programming. Similarly, Sam can perform some actions like talking, walking, eating, and sleeping. These actions are performed by methods. So, an object contains variables and methods. It is possible that some object may have similar properties and actions. Such objects belong to same category called a class. For example, not only Michael but also Sam, Mike, Ellie, etc. These persons have same properties and actions. So, they are all objects of same classes. This means class is a group name and does not exist physically, but objects exist physically. What is the difference between a class and an object? A class is a model for creating objects and does not exist physically. But an object is anything that exists physically. Both the classes and objects contains variables and methods. We can think that a class is a model, and if it physically form, then become an object. So, an object is called instance. The thing physically happen of a class means object is called instance of a class. So, a class contains variables and methods. The same variables and methods are available in objects because they are created from the class. Remember, objects are created on heap memory by JVM at runtime. We can think that a class is a model and if it physically forms, then it becomes an object. So, an object is called instance, the thing physically happen of a class. So, an object is called instance of a class. Next is encapsulation. Encapsulation is a mechanism where the data, variables, and the code, methods that acts on the data will bind together. For example, if we take a class, we write the variables and methods inside the class. Thus, class is binding them together, so class is an example of encapsulation. Another one is abstraction. There may be a lot of data a class contains and the user does not need the entire data. The user requires only some part of the available data. In this case, we can hide the unnecessary data from the users and expose only that data that is of interest to the users. This is called abstraction. A good example for abstraction is a car. Any car will have some parts like engine, radiator, mechanical and electrical equipments, etc. The user of the car, driver, should know how to drive the car, and does not require any knowledge of these parts. The advantages of abstraction is that every user will get his own view of data according to his requirement and will not get confused with unnecessary data. Another feature is inheritance. It creates new classes from existing classes. The new class will acquire all the features of the existing class is called inheritance. Class which inherits the property of others is known as subclass or child class. Classes whose properties are inherited is known as superclass, or we can say base class, parent class. Next one is polymorphism. Polymorphism provides flexibility in writing program in such a way that programmer uses same method call to perform different operations depending on the requirements. So this is all about OOPS. Thank you for watching my video. Please keep watching my more videos to learn Java in an easy way. You can send me an email for any query to my email ID goforelearning@gmail.com. Thank you.